Well, President Trump not only won last night's debate, he absolutely dominated last night's debate.
Well, in the 64 years of presidential debates, I feel pretty confident that I can say this is the worst one that has ever been done. The most enervating, the most disjointed, the least substantive, the most dishonest. I'm sure the only one that involved a debate about golf handicaps, fat jokes, and somebody calling somebody Brandon. This was a real low. This was a real low watermark.
As we all watch the presidential debate between President Joe Biden and Donald J. Trump, key issues was discussed concerning tax, the economy, immigration, international law, trans and abortion right. We'll be listening to people's reaction concerning this very debate as America decides its future. So let's get down to this video and check this out.
Joe Biden's age, of course, was already a talking point before the debate. It was amplified as well, not just in a cognitive sense. Plenty of discussion online about this footage of the First Lady, Jill Biden, helping her 81-year-old husband off stage. You can see pretty small steps there, but having to be helped off. He clearly needed assistance to descend those steps to greet the two CNN moderators after that. So I'm sure that'll be images played as well. Let's get more reaction. CNN reporter Julia Benbrook has been good enough to join us live. Julia, thank you very much for your time. I know it's late over there. First of all, how are people, the voters, reacting to tonight's debate performance?
Well, it will be interesting to see what the reaction is like tomorrow. These two candidates came into this debate essentially tied in nationwide polls. But we are hearing some reaction. There are some Democratic Party officials who have privately expressed concern about Biden's performance in this debate, citing some of those more shaky moments that he had. There was an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris on CNN shortly after the debate where she said it's not about these 90 minutes. It's about the last 3.5 years and the work that their administration has done for the American people. But when she was really pressed about his performance, she admitted that he got off to a, quote, slow start.
Yeah, OK. And in terms of the standout moments, what did you see them as this evening?
Well, there were quite a few. They talked about everything from serious topics like abortion rights to their golf game. These two were also asked about their age. They're only a few years apart. Now, it's typically Biden's age that gets discussed, but they would both be the oldest president on their swearing-in day. And so both of them tried to say, yes, I'm fit for office. I am ready to go. When it comes to abortion rights, that had been a key part of Biden's re-election campaign. He says that he wants to codify parts of Roe v. Wade. Trump, on the other hand, is proud of the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned and spoke about the 3 conservative Supreme Court justices that he appointed. On immigration, they both say that the border should be more secure, but Trump says that Biden's not doing enough. And Biden says that Trump, in part, tried to stop a bipartisan agreement that they had to strengthen the border.
Well, President Trump not only won last night's debate, he absolutely dominated last night's debate. He was strong, he was disciplined, he remained focused on the issues that matter to Americans at home. He pointed out the contrast in Joe Biden's America, where we have veterans living on our streets while illegal citizens are living in luxury hotels. He talked about the cost of living, how he's going to bring that down. He talked about the wars raging all over this world and how he's going to get us out of them. As for Joe Biden, it was a catastrophic performance last night. He was mumbling, bumbling. Oftentimes what he said was incomprehensible. And when you could make out what he was said, it was a whole.
Well, in the 64 years of presidential debates, I feel pretty confident that I can say this is the worst one that has ever been done. The most enervating, the most disjointed, the least substantive, the most dishonest. I'm sure the only one that involved a debate about golf handicaps, fat jokes, and somebody calling somebody Brandon. This was a real low. This was a real low watermark.
Yeah. They are two very different candidates. What about their preparation? How did that differ?
So very different preparation, very different performances, very different candidates. You had Biden at Camp David for about the last week in discussions, intense discussions, and mock debate prep. Trump has kind of shunned this formal debate prep philosophy, and he has participated in some informal briefing sessions, but he kept a pretty regular campaign schedule leading up to this with interviews and rallies. Went about it very different ways. His team really encouraged him, Trump's team really encouraged him to stray away from airing grievances tonight and instead focus in on issues like crime, inflation, and the economy. Biden's team encouraged him to paint Trump as unfit for office, and we saw them both attempt to do those things. Biden's team also wanted him to focus in on things like abortion rights, the economy, and democracy.
Yeah, okay. Now, a big moment, but it's also one that's come well out from the election, indeed the first.
There's a lot coming up, and this election year has a lot to it. Trump is actually going to have his sentencing for his hush money trial in New York on July 11th in just a few weeks, and he was convicted of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Then he turns around quickly and goes to the Republican National Convention. There, he has said that's where he plans to announce his running mate, so lots of eyes on that. Then in August, you have the Democratic National Convention, and then these two candidates have agreed to a second debate. That's scheduled for September 10th on ABC.
Wow, that's a very interesting one, and of course some of you have listened to the people reaction concerning the presidential debate that was organized by CNN. Of course, all of us have listened to both candidates, of course, even though it was held between an hour and 30-minute debate. And then if you look at it, in a sense, much details in a sense was given when it comes to massive tax cut, because according to Trump, he feels that he has done more for the American people, and that is the reason why he is seeking re-election. And then he focused more on the immigration, because he feels like a lot of people has been allowed to enter America, and then therefore raping women and causing all manners of crime, you understand, in America. So he feels like Biden has not done much in securing the border, and then that is the reason why millions of people are trooping into America illegally. Even though much was discussed on international law and how Hamas attacked Israel, that is, I'm making reference to October 7, whereby many Jews in the same were slaughtered, and then some of them were taken hostage, including 5 Americans. That cannot draw my attention to President Joe Biden performance when it comes to discharge of his duty as the American president. And I asked myself that, according to the question that they asked President Joe Biden, 5 Americans in a scene are taken hostage by the Hamas. And I asked myself this very question, that imagine Trump being the president of the United States of America. Do you think that Hamas can be able to take 5 Americans in a sense hostage without any form of retribution? All these things in a sense could have not been possible. Some of you knows that in a sense this can't be possible under the watch of President in a sense Trump. You know, we could say that of course Israel are going after. So are we saying that Israel are actually fighting American war? And what happened that America cannot go after its people that are being taken hostage by Hamas? If you look at, in a sense, some of those things, you agree with me that President Joe Biden kind of look weak, in a sense, by not going after, in a sense, the Hamas in order for him to secure the 5 Americans. I know that, of course, Israel might be handling it, in a sense, in a very wrong way, in a way that maybe probably some of us may not fully agree, you understand, with them. But then America not able to do something, in a sense, about this, you understand, makes me, in a sense, to be thinking twice and then saying to myself that imagine Trump being the president with all these things, in a sense, happen, which means that America to think twice in deciding their future. And then the issue of economy was massively, of course, discussed, because inflation is killing us. And then this tax, you understand, that we are talking about is affecting everybody. We are all feeling it. And then one of the key things that Joe Biden used in his campaign when it comes to abortion right, or should I say the trans right, is that, and if you look at, in a sense, the abortion right, for instance, which happens to be President Joe Biden, in a sense, key campaign, you understand, strategy. At this point in time, of course, the Supreme Court has overturned it. So at this point in time, it seems like Joe Biden don't really have anything, in a sense, to offer. If you look at, in a sense, some of the things, in a sense, he wants to do. So I think that, in a sense, the best candidate, in a sense, should be President Donald Trump. But then of course this one happens to be my own opinion, and I know that a lot of you have thought an opinion in a sense concerning this, because we all watch this and then we share different view, and I want to see your thought at the comment section of what you think, you understand, concerning these people, you understand, reaction, and then the entire debate itself. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, if you like, share and subscribe. If you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed and I see you in my next video. Bye bye.